How do you think about personal leverage?
So productivity, if you kind of view this like as mathematical equations, productivity is output over time, whereas the relevant equation for leverage would be impact over effort. And you want to maximize impacts while minimizing effort. But I actually don't even think about minimizing effort. Let's say you have a fixed amount of effort budget, and you do want to have high effort. People love. There's a lot of high leverage people or people who seek leverage by seeking to put in the minimal amount of effort. And I think that's the wrong way to think about these things. It causes a lot of 80-20 thinking where there's a bunch of idea guys, right, who walk around and saying like, oh, I have an idea for this. And, like once I've stated the idea, the rest of it is obvious. You can do the rest, right? But like you can't get anywhere half-assing it because you don't finish anything and therefore you don't ship it. It's not in a usable state. So I definitely don't talk about minimizing effort, but I do think you want to maximize your impact. And so leverage for me is essentially the best metric of it is how much can you get done or how much value can you provide to others in your sleep, because sleeping is like literally when you're not around. And so part of that will be writing is very high leverage, but writing is not the only way you can do that, right? You can also write software, and I think software is one of the most highest leverage form of labor that is known to humanity, and I think that's why software engineers are worth a lot, especially if you have self-healing systems that uh, that run thousands and thousands of machines at the same time, and that's why Kubernetes is valuable. Or if you write one piece of software that is deployable on all sorts of browsers and all sorts of devices like a React, all those things are very high leverage activities, which I highly encourage. Hiring other people is also a form of leverage. That's kind of people leverage, and then um, borrowing money is a form of leverage. That's the classical financial definition of leverage. By the way, there's two kinds of financial leverage. One is operational leverage, and one is financial capital leverage, which I highly encourage people to learn about if they're interested in scaling businesses. But we don't have to go specifically there. The reason that code and content have abnormal power in terms of leverage compared to the other two types of leverage that I mentioned, which is people leverage and money leverage, is that code and content are permissionless. I don't need your permission to write my own code that is valuable. I don't need your permission to write my own content that someone else finds valuable. I do need your permission to hire you. I do need your permission to borrow your money or take your investment. And so being permissionless gives you autonomy and full control, especially if I do that with thousands and thousands and thousands of people, such that I'm not captive to any one particular audience. In effect, I'm uncancelable, and any one person churning away from me completely doesn't affect me. That is true power and leverage and wealth, to be honest.